All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And first off, I have to thank every single one of you who watches my videos. Last night, I had to do a video that was talking about a situation that was very upsetting. And I'm not going to get into this video, though. I am going to do a separate video doing a much bigger thank you for everybody. But I got so much support after that video that it's just a reminder of why I do what I do. And I could not do this without your guys' support. And I so very much appreciate it. You guys are the best. It was funny because I was watching a live YouTube feed today of somebody getting on my case because I was talking about that situation and what was going on. And they were trying to act like I was the victim and I was all in the wrong. And they actually had a discussion during that live stream on why my channel seems to be growing and others are not. And I can tell you exactly why my channel is growing. Even the person doing the live stream had to admit that my views were real, my membership is real, and it's because I keep it real. I don't lie to you guys. I don't blow smoke. I don't just accept what the studio is giving me. I give real criticisms and reasons behind those criticisms. And there are a lot of channels that will just shill for DC and just accept the slop that is thrown in front of them. And I'm never going to be that way. I have standards. I have things I know what I like and I know what I don't like, and I'm always going to stick to that. And I promise you guys, I will always remain 100% genuine with you guys. That is never going to change on my channel. And so I have to thank you guys. All right, so let's get into the DC stuff here today because, you know, one thing I wanted to talk about that I don't think I have a slide for it. Superman got released on it got released on video this week. And people are complaining because Amazon, you know, their shipments are being delayed. And I'm experiencing this exact same thing with Tron and Tron Legacy from Disney. I wanted those 4Ks, the Steelbook collections, and I tried so hard to get a hold of them. The thing is, the studios are not printing enough copies, and it gives you this false optic of, oh, it's selling out, when they're just not producing enough. I saw yesterday on social media so many people going into their Walmarts and other places showing there's not even a spot for Superman. They're not even getting it. And they're just not sending enough movies out. I did a post about this last month when I tried to pick up, it was How to Train Your Dragon and Sinners. Like, I got the last 4K copy of Sinners. They didn't even have How to Train Your Dragon. They were all sold out of the copies. And it's because the demand is there, but the studios are not printing enough copies. And because of that, people are going to have to wait. They are really trying to force people over into digital. And on top of that, the digital version of Superman, they have reduced it on Fandango at home down to $11.99. They are doing everything they can. First of all, think about how quickly this got put on physical media. It almost never happens that fast. And so not only are they doing it on physical media, but now they're reducing they're doing everything they can to peddle this Superman movie out as much as they can because the interest simply isn't there. And they're trying to capture every dollar they can before that interest starts to wane, which it already has. It's just insanity to see how they're trying to spin how awesome this is. But let's take a look at the things that I have grabbed since my last update. First up, it says Superman drew 145% more viewership in its first 3 days on HBO Max compared to its first 3 days on pay for video on demand. This comes from Samba TV. People were putting this out there like this was a huge win. This is not a huge win for Superman. To only get 145% more viewership on a service that you're paying for already, when the movie is free, compared to when it was on video on demand, that's not that good. This actually, you had more viewership on Wonder Woman 1984. You had higher viewership on Black Adam. You had higher viewership on all of those movies. Superman comes in beyond that. It is not, the interest on this movie is not as high as they're telling you it is. It says DC Studios' Superman debuted with 1.3 million U.S. households watching on HBO Max in its first 3 days, marking a 145% increase from its PVOD performance. The DCU film stands behind The Suicide Squad, which had 2.8 million households, Wonder Woman, which had 2.2, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, which was a rehash of a movie that had already been released in theaters, which it had 1.8 million households. And keep in mind, when those films came out, you had way few viewers and subscribers to HBO Max than what you hold now. That is some crazy stuff. It goes to show you reality versus fiction. It's crazy stuff. So James Gunn revealed his DCU timeline plan and defends changing the DCU's original slate. Of course he's going to defend it. He is the CEO. The fact remains, if you go back and watch their original announcement on what they were doing with the DCU, which the Gunn crowd claimed was the best thing ever, almost none of those things are happening. It has completely changed. It is now full on James Gunn's universe. He's directing more movies. He's writing more movies. It's all about James Gunn. And it's because it's cheaper to do that. The studio had its stocks downgraded again. The company is not in good shape. And just, you can't defend this. And he's trying to claim that it's because of quality versus quantity. That's not it. It's just simply because they didn't stick to the plan and they were out there blowing smoke to everybody. It's no different than what Warner Brothers used to do. It's the same crap from the studio. It's the same crap over and over and over again. They had no real plan. They didn't go in and execute any real plan. They're just flying at the edge of their seat. Now, this was no big surprise. James Gunn teases the engineer will return in Man of Tomorrow. I expect everybody who was in Man of Steel to be in Man of Tomorrow. Not Man of Steel, but Superman. And I'm assuming they're going to have a whole bunch of other characters as well. I mean, James Gunn already talked about this being a huge ensemble film. He didn't consider Superman an ensemble film. So what does that tell you? Also, I'm rereading Scott Snyder's run of Batman, which I absolutely love. In my 40 years of reading, this has been the best run of Batman, bar none. And this is back when Alfred was still alive, and they're retelling, how Bruce became Batman in Zero Year. And there are so many touching moments between Bruce and Alfred. And Alfred tells Batman, or Bruce, before he's Batman, after he was beaten pretty badly and almost killed by the Red Hood gang, he says, what I'm trying to say is that we might disagree. We might fight. But no matter what, I'll always be here to patch you up. That much I promise. Powerful words. Batman is not the same without Alfred. He's not. Alfred has been missing for more than 5 years now. It's time to bring Alfred back. It's time. Batman is not the same. He is not the same without Alfred. Now, I thought this was kind of goofy. Stephen Amell blasted James Gunn and DC for how it has treated and mocked Arrow, demanding respect for what the show did. He says, when people think about the most recent iteration of DC, they don't think about the Snyder Cut, he said. They think about the Arrowverse. I do not agree with that statement. Most people think of the DCEU. They do. And especially how terrible it was after Aquaman, how everything was crap except for Black Adam, which started to bring the interest back. But I won't lie. The Arrow, especially in the first 2 to 3 seasons, was freaking amazing. But then the quality, each one of those shows, as they continued to go on, they got sillier and sillier as time went on, with way too many characters, and the quality wasn't the same. And honestly, I will tell you the best quality Arrowverse show was Superman and Lois, which was amazing. Way better than what they did with Superman. The CGI was better, the acting was better, everything was better. It was more feature film quality than what we got with Superman. James Gunn is also hinting that Ultraman might return as Earth 3 Ultraman, coming up in the universe at some point. Not necessarily in Man of Tomorrow, but at some point. So, again, nothing original there. James Gunn is doing what James Gunn does. So here you go. This is what I was talking about before. I grabbed this from Eric Curto. He said, it's wild to see a brand new film that's popular being less than a 12-year-old film that's more mixed. But here we are. They must want to sell quickly to boost their sales. So you can see that Man of Steel is currently on, this is Fandango at home, for $14.99, whereas Superman is $11.99. And it was $12.99. So it was already cheaper, but they even reduced it even cheaper. And they did this because, again, they want the digital sales rather than the physical sales. The physical sales, they're just not producing enough of this stuff. And I would never want to own Superman. I don't care. That movie was the most generic superhero film I've seen in over a decade. I just did not care for it at all. Also, this is pretty freaking cool. So, they did this big thing, and I can't wait for my McFarlane Toys drawing board thing to show up with all the stuff I got from Zack Snyder's Justice League. I cannot wait for all of that stuff to show up. I don't know when they're going to ship it, but they're doing another drawing board crowdfunding campaign starting tomorrow. It's going to go up at 9 a.m. I don't know how long this one will be for. The last one was for a month. I'm probably assuming this one will be for a month as well. If they hit their crowdfunding numbers, then they will end up, shipping it. And they've got different tiers here. And I'm probably looking at the lower left tier, the one that has the Joker and Harley. I don't care about the alternate version of Harley down there. I just want a version of Harley from the DCU that was more canon, not the one from Suicide Squad. And so I'd be happy to get that with the Joker because I don't think there is a Joker figure. And so I'm definitely going to want one of those tiers. So you have a tier 1, a tier 2, a tier 3, and a tier 4. I don't think I'm going to go for the 4th tier on this one, but I will probably go for tier 3. If you guys are going to do this, which one of these would you guys pick? Also, something else that I wanted to talk about that I didn't get to in my last video is the fact that for Batman Day, Warner Brothers completely ignored Ben Affleck as Batman from the DCEU. While they did show stuff from other iterations of Batman, they completely ignored Ben Affleck's version of Batman. That got a bunch of people talking online. It's very clear that the studio still hates the DCU. They hate the success that it actually had. They clearly understand that what they're doing now is not on that level. So they're trying to ignore it like it didn't exist. We'll never let that stop. We'll never let them forget it. Ever. All right, guys. There's my update for the day. Again, I do appreciate the support. And if you're new here, please take the time to like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you will be notified as I have new videos go up. We'll see you guys on the next video.